Okay, so the next thing we're going to go into is stance, okay? Stance is extremely important. A stance is basically when you're positioning yourself with your feet slightly apart, okay, to where it's comfortable, okay? It's going to depend on how big you are, how tall you are, how far your legs are apart, but you should be in a comfortable position where you can defend yourself from, okay? Now, the legs should be slightly apart and you should have a slight bend in your knees, okay? You don't want to be in a stance where your knees are locked, okay? Where when you have to move, you're walking around like this, trying to move. You can't be like that. You've got to have your knees slightly bent so that you can move, okay? You've got that freedom of movement, okay, where you can twist the body and things like that. So your knees need to be slightly bent. How your feet are positioned, in what direction, who cares? As long as your feet are positioned in a way that it gives you a good solid position on the ground to where you can lock in, okay? You can defend from this position of the stance, okay? The feet are, again, the legs are like this so that we can defend from this position in a solid position, okay? And we can launch our attack, okay, from a solid position. From a solid position we can launch into another solid position, and we can also back up, okay, back into another solid position, okay? So we can defend and we can attack from our stance, and our legs being positioned at a comfortable distance apart where we can lock into the ground when we need to is absolutely vital throughout a conflict, okay? When we're in a conflict situation, okay? Again, the knees need to be slightly bent, and this is really important. Now, the next thing is our body structure, the frame of our body here, the spine and everything else, needs to be upright, okay? Needs to be upright. We don't want to be bending over like this. We don't want to be bending way back like that, or to the side, okay? We need to be upright. If we're bending over to whatever direction, we can lose balance too easy, okay? We don't want to lose balance. The whole idea behind the stance is so that we can maintain balance, okay? We need to be able to maintain balance, and the stance allows us to do that. It gives us a position of solidity or solidness, okay? Like you're a tree, and the tree roots are locking into the ground. That's our stance. We're locking in. So if somebody tried to push you, okay, you can lock in, okay? You're not going to budge, and even if you did go back a little bit, you can bang, lock in again, okay? So that's very important. Our stature is upwards, okay? Spine is straight and up, okay? And our head is up as well, okay? The arms come up to our front, okay? We don't want to don't have your arms down here when you're in a situation that's going to be a violent situation. It takes too long to bring your arms from here up to here. So our hands need to be in front of us like so, okay? In a defensive position, okay? So the hands are open. You can have your hands open, right? Because this is trying to prevent the problem. You're trying to bring the tempo down of the conflict, talk the person down, and things like that. This is a sign of, I don't want to fight. I want, stop there, stay there, calm down, all this sort of stuff, okay? Now, we can still push, we can still grab, we can still deflect, we can still bring our hands in to clench, eh? And then we can strike, okay? We can hit, we can do everything like that as well. But when our hands are open, okay, it's less aggressive. And if we go back to beforehand, we're trying to prevent the situation. We're trying to minimize it. We're trying to talk it down through body language and verbal and stuff like that. Okay. Also, you've got to remember that this looks less aggressive, okay, as well. So if there's cameras around, which are everywhere these days in nightclubs and Anywhere you go, there's cameras everywhere, people with cameras. If you're doing this, you're trying to show that you're trying to calm the situation down and trying to prevent problems. While you're in your stance, you're still ready to defend yourself, but you're trying to do this. If you're standing there like this looks like you want to fight. Okay? This looks like you want to have a fight. It's like, come on then. Okay? You don't want to be doing that. You want to be going, mate, calm down. If the person attacks you, we can still defend ourselves with our open hands, or we can clench our fist when we need to, and we can defend ourselves. Okay? But it's better to be like this. Okay? It's less aggressive, more chance to bring it down. Okay, so with our stance, as I said, is our balance. Now, you'll hear me say throughout the training that balance is most important. We must maintain balance. If we lose our balance, because we lose our stance, if we lose our stance and we're going to lose our balance. If we lose balance, we lose power. Okay? If you can imagine a ballerina up on their tippy toes, okay, they barely have their balance. Okay? Yeah, they're balancing, but they barely have it. Now, if you get that ballerina to try and punch a punching bag while they're on their tippy toes, they've barely got their balance. They're not going to get much power hitting that punching bag, are they? Because they've only got a fraction of balance. Yes, they're keeping it, but it's only a fraction of balance that they've got. So their punches are not going to be very strong. If you came along and pushed that person when they're on their tippy toes, they're going to fall. They're going to lose their balance. Okay? So we don't want to be like the ballerina. We want a good solid stance, okay? And we want to maintain it, because so when we hit something, a punching bag or whatever, when we're defending ourselves from a person, we're going to have power. And that comes from our stance, which maintains our balance, which allows us to have power. When we're defending, attacking if necessary, okay? But we need to maintain that balance through our stance. Very important. Okay, so that's pretty much stance. The other thing that we can do as a security officer is when we're standing there outside a nightclub or a bar or whatever we're doing security on, we don't want to be standing there like this. Okay? Because everyone's going to be walking past us going, what's going on? Okay? We want to be standing there with our hands in front of us, just relaxed. Okay? You can have both feet apart like so, where it's like that, or you can have one foot forward and be standing there like that, whichever foot you feel more comfortable with. Okay? So you're sort of in a stance already. I'll try and position it there. You're sort of in a stance already, but you're just sort of standing there like that. So you can see how one foot is in front of the other, but only just where it doesn't look like you're in a stance. Okay? If you bring the other foot back where they're in line, you can do that, but there's more chance that if somebody pushed you, you're going to go back. Okay? Or if they push you from behind, you're going to fall forward. If you've got one foot slightly in front of the other, and you're just standing there still with your hands clenched in front of your navel, if they push you, you've at least got a foot back there where you can brace down, okay, on that back foot. Or if they push you forward, you've sort of already got a foot where you can brace that knee down, okay, which is better than being like that. But it's up to you, all right? Now, we want to be in a relaxed position with the hands here like this. Just relax, just relax. Hello, sir, how are you doing today? Hope you have a good night. Hey, ma'am, how's things going? Everything all good tonight? Okay, talking to the customer, being relaxed, being confident, okay, and having your hands here. Why do we want our hands in the front? So that we can defend ourselves. You can bring the hands straight up, okay, if you need to defend yourself, okay? But when we're doing this, we don't want people walking right past us and we're standing here like this, okay? Because if somebody comes past you, they could hit you with your things here. So normally this is when you've got about, a few feet or about 1.5 meters between you and other people. You want to be, the distance that you create between you and the other people is your safety distance. So we can still be in a stance here, okay, but we're in a relaxed here. Hello, how are you going, and everything else. If something happens, we can go straight into a full stance, okay? So this is just prepared. Hello, how you going, all that sort of stuff, and then bang, alright? And then bang if necessary into the fists. So that's quite important as well. Don't put your hands behind your back like that, okay? I was working for a security company once for one day or so, and they were like, oh, all security guards must have their hands clenched behind their back like that, like they're standing at ease, okay? Don't do that. You're making your whole front of your front stomach area, your groin area, all vulnerable to being attacked. When you're standing there like this, your throat's vulnerable, okay? Your whole front is vulnerable, okay? If somebody decides they just want to have a go at you, right, and you're standing here like this, and they just walk up on you and try and disguise their attack, they got you, right? You're a goner before you even get a chance to defend yourself. So you want, at the bare minimum, we're like this, okay? Other things that we can do, we can stand here like this, okay? If you're standing there and you've got your one hand here protecting your stomach area, groin area where you can just deflect, okay? And you've also got your other hand up here and this hand here protecting your throat area so they can't strike your throat, okay? So you're like this, oh, okay, yeah, oh, how's everything going tonight? All good, okay? And things like that, okay? It just looks like you're just relaxed there, just standing there like that, okay? With here, we don't want this part here facing directly at the person, so you'd be sort of like, oh, okay, yeah. If you're talking to the people, it's like, you're sort of like here, you go, oh, okay, yeah, okay? Or bring the other foot around. Oh, yeah, oh, right, yeah. You're not, that's not threatening. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I see, yeah, it's just down this direction here. Just down that way, yeah, okay. Okay, thank you very much, right? And you're like this. So you're in a stance sort of thing, but you're just like relaxed, okay, right. And you're talking like that. You don't have to have your hand there the whole time, okay? That would be normally if you think the person's going to be making a potential attack, okay? Or they're trying to disguise what they're doing. Okay, so that's really important for stances. It's a way that we can launch our attack from a solid position. We can drive ourselves back into a position where we're always going. All right, so that's really important. I want to cover that on stances. Okay, the other thing just quickly about stances is when we go into a stance and we're like this, and we're like, just calm down, mate, just relax, just settle down, things like that. We don't want to go into a stance like this. Alright, we were getting ready to like do wasa chop suey or something like that. Okay, that's extreme, or sort of like, you know, and you're going down and you're spreading out. That's like, you can't be going like this and going, okay, mate, just calm down, just calm down. That's, your body language is saying one thing and your words are saying something completely different. We need to be in a position where we're ready, where we can defend, where we can attack if necessary, in order to defend, okay? But we're looking like we're bringing it down. And that's what you want to do. Your body language has to say, this is what we want to do, but you're still ready, okay? So I just wanted to cover that as a final point. I'll pause it there, and then we'll go into the next one straight after that, which I'm going to cover movement, right?